Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that really pulls people in, the unknown, UFOs, alien encounters. These stories are everywhere. But what if some of the wildest ones, the truly unbelievable ones, were actually true, just hidden away? That's what we're digging into today. We've got this really astonishing set of claims, apparently based on highly classified information, stuff about UFO crashes, even interactions with aliens. And here's the kicker, the part that makes you pause. The source we're looking at claims this all came via former U.S. President Jimmy Carter.
It's quite the starting point, isn't it? A former president allegedly leaking UFO files. We're going to be looking at everything from, well, a strange event dated 99, just before 9/11, to really specific accounts of crashed ships, and even alleged interviews with extraterrestrial beings. We'll break down what the sources actually say and try to figure out what stands out.
Okay, yeah. Let's definitely unpack this. That Carter claim is bold, to say the least. So the first big claim right out of the gate in this material is that President Carter himself gave access to these, quote, highly classified UFO videos and files. And supposedly this happened just last month.
Just think about that. If it's true, it changes everything about how we see official secrecy on this topic. It's not just rumors anymore. And it connects directly to this other weird event mentioned, 99, 2 days before the September 11th attacks. The source says on that day, aliens came here from the future to collect evidence lost in Earth's calamities. It's a very specific, very strange assertion.
Right, and the implication is that because Carter supposedly released these files, we shall know everything after seeing these amazing UFO crashes videos that you never saw before.
It's framing this alleged leak as like a necessary step, a revelation tied to future beings needing lost data from our past disasters. It really is. Now, the source does hedge a bit. It admits, okay, some of the crashes might be meteors, satellites, or man-made objects, the usual suspects. But then it immediately says the majority of them are out of this world, literally. So it pushes us towards the extraordinary explanations.
Yeah, setting the stage, saying, okay, maybe some are normal, but most aren't. Don't get distracted by the mundane stuff.
What's fascinating here is the claim these aren't just stories. They're presented as documented events, things with records, maybe even video.
Okay, so let's get into those specific events. The source gives a lot of detail on one in particular. The Bolivia UFO crash, May 6, 1978. It pinpoints the location, near a place called Elter on the Bumo River, right on the border between Tarija province in Bolivia and Argentina. Happened around 4:15 p.m., apparently.
And the scale. It says thousands of people saw this happening, not just one or two witnesses. Thousands. They described the object initially as cylindrical in shape with a tapering tail, though later descriptions often settled on oval or cylindrical and metallic. Pretty consistent shapes, actually.
And the impact sounds huge. A supersonic bang heard up to 150 miles away. It supposedly cracked window panes as far away as 30 miles in every direction.
Imagine that shockwave. That's serious energy. And the source mentions the immediate aftermath was chaos. Next day, newspapers were full of it, speculating wildly, was it a meteor, a UFO, maybe even an old Apollo capsule falling back. Nobody seemed sure, but everyone knew something big happened.
And there was an official response, too. Argentina sent the 20th unit of the border police to search their side. Reporters rushed to the nearest town, Aguas Blancas.
And the source even names a specific military person, Corporal Natalio Ferrus, from the border police in a small village called Lamura. He apparently confirmed it to reporters. Said around 4:30 p.m. a cylindrical object made the earth tremble. So you have this official, on-the-ground confirmation adding weight.
That Bolivia story is incredibly vivid. The details, the witnesses, the official reaction. But the source suggests this wasn't, a one-off. There were others, different types of crashes.
Exactly. It moves on to talk about a Pacific Ocean crash near the California shore. This one is described as more recent and very well documented, supposedly filmed from multiple angles with different cameras, which, if true, would be huge.
And the military response described here? Intense. Entire shore was locked down and searched by military, like a total clampdown.
But here's the really crucial part. The claim is they recovered bodies of several humanoids. They either fished them out from Pacific Ocean or found after searching the shore.
Wow. Okay, so not just wreckage, actual beings.
Yeah. And it says these alleged bodies were then transferred to Sierra Nevada Mountain Research Facility for further study, hinting at secret labs, ongoing analysis.
A research facility for study.
That's the implication, yes, for further study, deep black kind of stuff.
And then there's another one mentioned briefly, a Colorado crash. What's unique about this one?
It was apparently filmed from start to finish, and it produced Alive, gray, alien humanoids.
Alive. So captured beings,
Yeah.
not just bodies.
That's the claim. A full visual record leading to the capture of living entities, which is another level entirely.
So we've gone from Bolivia, a huge public event, to California, maybe more contained but with bodies, to Colorado with live captures on film. That paints a picture of, well, a lot of activity and evidence.
Definitely. The source ties it all together with this theme of physical proof. It talks about giant smoking craters appearing overnight and physical parts of UFO spaceships made from unknown on Earth metal alloys found by multiple witnesses. Real tangible stuff.
Stuff that shouldn't exist according to our science. And of course, where there's evidence.
Right. Enter the Men in Black. Their job, according to the source, is confiscating these alien parts, silencing people. Standard MIB lore, really. But here's an interesting twist the source adds. Despite the MIBs, dozens of those alien objects remained in private possessions.
Wait, really? So the Men in Black weren't foolproof? People actually held on to alien tech? That seems unlikely if the MIBs are as efficient as the stories usually make them out to be. How does the source explain that? People just hit it well enough.
Well, the source doesn't give, specific tactics for hiding alien artifacts. But the implication seems to be that maybe there were just too many incidents, too much debris scattered around, too many witnesses finding small pieces. Perhaps the MIBs couldn't be everywhere at once or couldn't find every single fragment. It suggests maybe the cleanup wasn't as perfect as they might have wanted. A bit more chaotic on the ground.
Okay. So maybe some pieces slipped through the cracks. Interesting. Now let's talk about the aliens themselves. The source gets really specific here, doesn't it? Starting with the Greys.
Very specific. And it's a radical idea. They're presented as future humans, not aliens from Zeta Reticuli or somewhere else, but us, evolved and coming back. The source says they traveled from the future to observe their evolution and collect the historical evidence. Their travel method, explicitly, though, time.
Time travelers. That changes the whole dynamic. But then the obvious question comes up, right? If they're so advanced, future humans who mastered time travel. So why do they crash and burn? Why are there ships falling out of the sky?
Yeah, it's a good question, and the source actually offers an explanation. It claims the crashed saucers. They're not designed to travel across the universe. They're basically mere cheap expendable time machines. Built just good enough to make the jump through time, maybe not so good at navigating our atmosphere reliably.
Cheap time machines.
Okay.
And the bodies found. The dead aliens.
According to this source, they are not dead at all. They are just expendable bodies, like biological drones or avatars. It uses the word dolls, calls them movement devices connected to a global information field, like their consciousness isn't tied to one body.
A global information field.
Mm-hmm.
Like a hive mind or cloud consciousness.
Something like that, yeah. The idea seems to be that when one doll is expired, they simply fill the other one. Consciousness transfers, maybe?
And it compares this to humans, saying the principle applies to humans except we do not have the technology to manipulate the next doll exactly as we want to.
Which leads to this really profound statement in the source. Death is human-made concept.
Wow. Okay. That's a fundamental challenge to everything we think about life and self. If death isn't real in that sense, what does that even mean for us, for our purpose?
Yeah.
It's mind-bending.
Absolutely. And this whole concept ties back into the secrecy and the Men in Black. The source claims there's a secret agreement between Greys and U.S. government. An agreement to return any captured Greys, or maybe these dolls, and to keep their whole presence secret.
So the MIBs aren't just enforcing general secrecy. They're upholding this specific deal, wiping memories to prevent disclosure about the Greys and their unique nature.
That seems to be the logic presented, yes. It's about maintaining that agreement, keeping the Greys' time-traveling mission under wraps.
Okay, so that's the Greys. Future humans in expendable bodies, traveling through time. But the source mentions another group, right? The reptilians.
Yes, a distinct contrast. They apparently travel not though time, but though space only. So more like traditional interstellar aliens in that sense. And their agenda is very different. While the Greys are observing their past, the reptilians supposedly want humans to refer to their reptilian roots rather than becoming Greys.
Reptilian roots, implying some kind of ancient connection or lineage and a conflict with the Greys' path for us.
That's the implication. A struggle over humanity's evolutionary future, maybe even our genetic makeup. Two different factions vying for influence.
And technologically, are they crashing too?
Interestingly, no. The source notes they do not easily crash and burn, unlike rays, suggesting maybe more robust technology or just different operational methods, less reliance on expendable craft, perhaps.
So, okay, we've got future human time travelers observing us, potentially crashing cheap probes, and spacefaring reptilians with a different agenda who seem more stable, both involved with Earth, possibly competing. It's a complex picture.
Very complex, a hidden stage with multiple players, according to the source material.
And it gets even more direct. The source doesn't just talk about aliens, it claims we've talked with them. Like interviews with captured beings.
That's the assertion. Direct dialogue answering humanity's biggest questions, which is perhaps the most startling claim of all.
What kind of answers did they supposedly give?
Well, it gets a little confusing, maybe, or needs interpretation.
Hmm?
On Travel and Origin, one part quotes an alien saying it took thousands of light years to get here. That sounds like space travel, right? But then right after, there's this exchange. So you're human. Okay, so you evolved from us, yes. Which points straight back to the Greys being future humans.
Yeah, that seems contradictory. Maybe different aliens being quoted? Or is it a translation issue? Or maybe the source is mixing perspectives.
It's unclear from the excerpt. It could be different speakers, could be generalizing, or maybe there's a nuance we're missing. But it's definitely a point that stands out as needing clarification.
Okay, what about other topics, like death?
On death, the response aligns with the earlier doll concept. The quote is, "There's no death and we all experience each other's lives," reinforcing that idea of death as human-made concept, suggesting maybe a shared consciousness across lives.
Experiencing each other's lives. Wow. And the universe. Did they have insights there?
They allegedly claimed they know how the universe is created and that it's so perfectly made for us, implying a deep understanding of cosmology, maybe even intelligent design, but from their perspective.
Perfectly made for us. That's intriguing.
That
And our future. What did they say about that?
This part's pretty chilling. The source quotes them saying, "Aliens took over our future, and it's truth about your future. It's all this space, all special to our kids."
Took over our future. As in, our destiny is already written or controlled by them. That's bleak. And what about morality? Nuclear war?
The source implies there was discussion about morality and why do we destroy ourselves with nuclear war, but the provided text doesn't give a clear, direct quote from the aliens answering that specific question, just that the topic came up.
So these dialogues, if real, touch on existence, cosmology, our destiny. It's heavy stuff.
Extremely heavy. It forces you to question, well, everything, the nature of truth, free will, life, death. If any of this dialogue is authentic, it redraws the boundaries of reality as we know it.
What an incredible journey through this source material. We've touched on claims of presidential leaks of classified UFO files, specific crash accounts stretching from Bolivia in '78 to recent events off California and even Colorado involving wreckage, bodies, and supposedly live captures.
Right, and these distinct alien species, the Greys, as future humans traveling through time in expendable bodies, contrasted with spacefaring reptilians with their own agenda for humanity's roots.
And finally, these alleged direct conversations touching on the non-existence of death, the creation of the universe, and this unsettling claim about aliens having taken over our future.
And again, we have to stress this has all been based solely on the specific and quite extraordinary source material we were examining today. It lays out a vision that's, well, both fascinating and profoundly disturbing. It paints a picture of reality, of hidden history and ongoing interactions that's miles away from the public narrative.
So think about this as we wrap up. What if these aren't just wild theories? What if even a small part of this narrative, the crashes, the beings, the hidden agreements, reflects a classified reality? How would that change your view of history, of science, of what it means to be human, to live and to die? What part of this deep dive grabbed you the most? What questions are swirling in your mind right now? Something to ponder.